This video is brought to you by the San Jose State Quarterback Club.
That's awesome. Well, from one great Spartan on to another great Spartan, and actually, you know, it's funny because Patrick Walsh is going to be our next speaker, and you know, he played for San Jose State back in what, 93 through 96. But it was funny because I asked him if he would send me a little a bio, something, so I could talk a little bit about him intelligently. And the very first thing he wrote is, "My mom and I prefer Patrick over Pat." So that was one of the big ones there. So good score. All right, Mom. So Patrick Walsh was he played at Salle High School for Bob Ladouceur back from '89 through '92. And I don't know if you guys realize, he was the California Player of the Year, and he also was the valedictorian for De La Salle. So that's pretty cool stuff. That's why you have those glasses. I got mine here. I'm fighting it still. Yeah. And so like I said, he played at San Jose State from 1993 to 96, and he was a two-sport athlete. He played both baseball and football. And then he got into coaching at De La Salle, and he was an assistant coach from 98 through 2000. And then at the age of 26, he became the head coach for Serra High School, and he has been the head coach for 13 years now at Serra High School. During those 13 years, let's see, he's got a record, actually not counting this year, but 99 and 52-1 going into the season. He's made the playoffs 12 out of 13 years. And he was league champions 4 times. And just this last year, you won the North Coast section, correct? Is that the Open? Central Coast section, yeah. So, I mean, he's been putting together some great teams there, Sarah. He's here tonight with his wife, Lindsay, and his parents, Chick and Madeline. Here it is. All right. He's also the owner of the Next Level Flag Football with over 2,000 registrants in there. So it's a flag football league that he runs, and it's got a number of, what, like 7 or 8 different locations that they play out of in the flag football program that he runs. So I'll bring him on up here. We're happy to have you, Patrick. Thank you for joining us. Thank you.
It's good to see all that blue and gold. I didn't have to change my my shirt, so I didn't have to do any of that wardrobe stuff. But I want to thank Tony and the San Jose State Quarterback Club for giving me the opportunity to come back here this evening. It just brings back so many memories, just having the opportunity to think about my time at San Jose State. I don't know if any of you guys remember me. You probably couldn't see me on the field. I'm just not that big, but I did play as hard as I could for the Spartans. I'm very nervous right now, and when it comes to speeches, it's hard to get started, pick a theme, messaging, that sort of stuff. But just last night, I received a text message from a very dear friend of mine, Tammy Evans, who's the wife of, thank you, I don't know if anybody knows Tammy and Ryan Evans. That contained a speech in it. This is kind of a weird deal. It contained a speech that I hadn't heard in over 20 years. It was a message from Brent Evans to the Spartans football team prior to the game versus New Mexico State. I asked Tammy why she sent me that. She said she just found it and sent it to me out of nowhere. So I figured this was divine intervention, because here I am now speaking in front of you, and I thought it was best to start this evening off with Brent's speech to the Spartans football team in 1995. And for those of you that don't know Brent, unfortunately he passed away. He was my teammate when I first got to San Jose State. Excuse me. And he was pretty much the first Spartan that took me in. He hosted me on my recruiting trip, him and Brian Roach. I don't know if any of you guys know who Brian is. Another, everyone's like, yeah, I know that guy. He's loud and talkative, so we all know Brian. But unfortunately, he passed away. He's an Oak Grove product. Went to Gavilan College, broke all of Jeff Garcia's records, and then was my teammate for, unfortunately, just 1 year at San Jose State. So I figured if I hadn't heard it in 20 years and Tammy hadn't heard it in 20 years, I thought maybe I wrote the whole thing down because I think there's a lot of wisdom in this. First of all, I just want to talk a little bit about life in general and just how lucky you guys are to be able to walk out on the field tomorrow, and I wish I could be there to smell the wet grass and all that. I'm getting a little sad. Some of you I know and some of you I don't know, but I don't think that really matters at this point. I'm just here to say a few words and basically give you a little inspiration for the game tomorrow night. I hope you guys play like Spartans. I know you will. The outcome doesn't really matter. It's all about having fun and doing what you are taught. I'm fighting a battle just like you guys are. You guys are 0-4 at the moment, and I'm making it out of my deathbed. So I just take it day by day. And I want you guys to know, I just want to thank you, and I remember everyone that was there when I was lying on that bed. And it means a lot. And I just want to thank all you guys and thank all that you've been coming up. Coach Cedar, Coach Ralston, Coach Bergman, blast from the past names there. Guys, all have been coming up. It really means a lot to me, all your support. And just take it to the Aggies tomorrow night. I'll be listening to the game, checking you guys out. Make some plays, make some big hits, throw a couple TDs, run a couple balls in. That would be great. Hey, and even if you lose, it doesn't really matter. At least you can walk, at least you can talk, and at least you are alive, because at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. Good luck, guys. I think Brent wanted me to read this tonight to all of you to remind us how truly lucky we all are to be here in this room together tonight. Despite our situations, some of our misfortunes, whatever's going on in our lives, we are all lucky to be San Jose Spartans this evening. I don't remember exactly when this happened or exactly the timing of it, but I know we mentioned the Aggies, and I do know we beat New Mexico State that night, 38-37. One of only 13 wins in my 4 years. I apologize for that. I do take ownership for it because I was definitely on those teams. But as I think back on the San Jose State days, my football career, and what Coach Ladd down here has taught me is that football is really, truly all about relationships. Even though we didn't win many games in that 4-year period, I made relationships that have lasted to this day, and that is truly what football is all about for me. Names that you remember that are still in my life on a daily basis: Chris Prater, who kicked here; David Doyle played wide receiver here; Coach Craig Berman runs one of our sites, the head coach of Monte Vista, one of our flag football sites; Coach Chris Strasser comes through the Serra School every year recruiting. He's now at the University of Washington; Brian Roach, and of course Brent Evans, who will always be a strong force and governing body in my life. I feel like some things have happened to me in my life that I really just can't explain why it happened, and I truly honestly believe, I've always thought, I think there's an angel in my life that looks over me in times of need, and I'm pretty sure now that it's Brent Evans. And it all came together for me last night when he sent me that, when Tammy sent me that video. Your impact, each and every one of you, on us as players when I was playing here, and these guys down here, it means so much to us when we're going through it. You don't even really know. But when I played at San Jose State, you guys were there during those times. We didn't really have a lot of success during those times on the scoreboard, which was kind of a foreign concept to me since I played for this guy at De La Salle. We won 13 games in those 4 years, as I mentioned, as a Spartan, but when I was a Spartan at De La Salle, we had a tendency to win 13 games a year. But I learned so much about myself, and I learned so much about my friends, and I made so many good relationships. I felt truly alive during these years, sometimes because of the pain and disappointment of losing, but also because of the unbelievable thrill of winning these games. There wasn't many of them, so they stand out to me. I'll never forget in 1994 beating UOP in the last game of the season, canceling my best friend Damon Bowers, who played on that team's opportunity to wear a ring. And we still talk about it to this day. I love that. I'll never forget our trip to Hawaii with Coach Ralston. We won 38-17, and Coach Ralston said, "Make sure you don't miss the bus tomorrow to the airport." And we looked around like, he goes, "Yeah, there's no curfew." That was the best thing I've ever heard in my life. We're in Honolulu, like, see you later. I'm pretty sure everybody made the bus. That was good. I'll never forget when the Simpkins Stadium Center was open for the first time. Back when I first got here, the locker room the facilities at De La Salle were better than the locker room we first started in. And there was old yellow lockers. It was over on the baseball field, and it was just like, whoa. And then the Simpkins Center came along, and it just felt so important and felt so good. And it just felt so good for the sacrifices we were making for San Jose State and the sacrifices the Simpkins family and all of you had made for us. It was a really important moment in Spartan football. I'll never forget the first year of being in the Western Athletic Conference and the excitement and buzz that brought through the campus. Now that we've moved on to other things, but that year we beat UTEP, we beat Hawaii, and we beat UNLV. Not all that we wanted, but it was a great start for us. Other than the great relationships that nobody can ever take away from me, the thing I learned most from my playing time at SJSU was how to deal with this adversity. My wonderful parents who are here tonight, as Tony mentioned, gave me the fundamentals of striving to be the best person I could be. I will forever be appreciative of the love and support given to me and the foundation that you guys gave me. Thanks, Mom and Dad. Coach Ladd took that foundation and ran with it at De La Salle. Coach Ladd taught us all how to grow as boys with those base fundamentals and how to grow into positive young men and members of society ultimately. Coach Ladd taught values such as commitment, love for fellow man and woman, aka what we call brotherhood, personal accountability, work ethic, and striving to be the best people we can be on a daily basis. Coach Ladd is a teacher, and football has always been his pulpit. I will forever be changed because of this man. He has changed so many lives for the better, it's unbelievable. His life and the changes and everything he taught and forced upon all of us kids are things of legend. His records, his accomplishments, everything we know about are almost great enough to be a Hollywood movie. Sorry, lad. So I love you, you know that. Of all the things Coach Ladd taught us, what he didn't teach us really was how to lose, because we really didn't do that all that much. We did lose once in my 4 years at De La Salle, and that was a tragedy. That was overturned in my senior year when we went 13-0, which led to 12 years with no losses. And of anything I'm most proud of my football career is being on the team that started that 151-game winning streak. As Tony mentioned, I'm currently the head football coach at Serra High School in Padres. We participate in the West Catholic Athletic League versus Bellarmine, Midi, Valley Christian, St. Francis, and all the rest of them. I know Coach Carragher's familiar with the Bellarmine Bells. We have had our fair share of disappointment and success at Serra in those 14 years. My time at De La Salle and San Jose State has taught me to lead our young Padres through periods of great excitement and periods of great disappointment. As a leader of young men, I am thankful that I got the opportunity to be on both sides of the coin in my football career. Because like I mentioned earlier, and as Brent mentioned in his speech to us, the main message and main accomplishment of any football team is simply being overjoyed to be alive, to be together, and to play this great game of football, and to create bonds that last a lifetime. I am forever indebted to this game and to the experiences that I learned playing for Coach Ladd and my experiences here as a San Jose State football player. I want to thank all of you out there who made me feel special while I was here. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You always picked me up when we were down. You are the true Spartans. You make San Jose State football tick. I can't tell you the joy I had watching Delion Eskridge, I don't know if you remember him, and 2K Tui Pelotu, you guys remember 2K? Running around the stadium in a San Jose State uniform, the same uniform I wore. Both of these are former Serra Padres turned San Jose State Spartan. Those are awesome. As a Bay Area football coach, I can't tell you how important San Jose State football is to this area. As a high school coach trying to get these kids off to play college football in California as a student athlete has been very, very difficult in my time. I mentioned UOP earlier, and amongst others, there are so few opportunities for our local boys to play college football here in Northern California, or California in general. I'm proud and honored to have San Jose State as an option for our student athletes, even though I'm not particularly fond of Bellarmine or Valley Christian or any of those people during this time of the year, just right now. I got a ton of respect for our league. It gives me a great sense of pride when I see anybody from the West Catholic Athletic League playing for the blue and gold here at San Jose State. San Jose State football is a Northern California jewel that must be preserved at all costs, and you are the group that makes this happen. As an alum of San Jose State football, a member who bled here, we thank you for keeping SJSU football going, the pride ticking. A few years back, we won 11 games here in this season, and the bowl game, just sitting there watching that bowl game was awesome. I know Coach Carragher has similar plans and is going to have a great game this weekend against the Wolfpack. Finally, I am a proud father of 2 boys, the best gift a woman could ever give to a man. My wife, Lindsay, thank you so much for picking me out of the yearbook. Appreciate it. I would be nothing without you. I currently have many titles. I am a husband, a dad, a son, a friend, and of course a coach. Out of the foundations of lessons that my parents, Coach Ladd and San Jose State football gave me, I knew that I couldn't go into any workforce as anything else but a football coach. I wanted to give back to the young kids all the lessons that I learned throughout my young life, to my boys and many young kids just like them. It was a no-brainer for me to be a football coach. I always wanted to be a college football coach, but God led me to be a high school football coach, and I'm extremely grateful for that. I don't want to get too political right now, but I think football in America is under attack. The game that has taught so many great life lessons to me and millions of kids over generations is under intense scrutiny. People like us need to make sure that football survives at all levels, and it is my personal mission to make sure that this game exists for generations to come. I know my life has forever been altered by the values that only football can teach. Deep, deep, deep values. Recently, I've added a new title. I'm a flag football business owner. With a small team of 4 men, including my dad sitting down here, we have built a company named Next Level Flag Football, which hosts flag football sites all across the Bay Area, as Tony mentioned. We have Saratoga, Los Gatos, De La Salle, Marin Catholic, Serra High School, and many across the Bay Area. So I believe that in some level, my new mission not only is to beat Bellarmine and St. Francis and Valley Christian, all the good boys, is also to help instill the values of football at the very, very lowest level. We go as low as kindergarten to teach this passionate game we call football, and the reason why everyone's here tonight is for the relationships. And I want my boys to learn the sport in a safe and comfortable environment and hopefully transition to playing football for men like Bob Lattiser, myself, the rest of the coaches out there that truly teach young boys how to become men. And it's under attack, and I'm going to do everything I can to keep this thing going. So I want to thank everyone for allowing me to be here. Thanks for all of you guys for giving me for hope and love and encouragement in a difficult 4-year stretch in terms of the scoreboard. But it was certainly rewarding and certainly 4 years that I'll never forget. So thank you, Tony, for having me. And now I think we're, the main reason why we're here, and I was kind of a little long there, but the most exciting thing about tonight is the next speaker, which I believe is hopefully Coach Lattiser, right? So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to be here tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem.
Awesome job, Patrick. Very, very good.
This video is brought to you by the San Jose State Quarterback Club.